Oh, hey, there we are. And bad internet, shutting off the thing. Overwhelming Force, my biggest book ever, 135,000 words. Stopping the camera. All right, Successful Indie Author 5-Minute Focus, episode 272. Let me shut off that light that's right in my face. Using brands in stories. This is a slippery slope if there's any negativity that can be attached. Usually simple things such as grab to Starbucks on their way out is easy because it's an everyday event, and that's what Starbucks wants you to do. Remember in the old days when they say used to hoover the house as opposed to vacuum the house, those brands, get a Kleenex as opposed to a tissue. That's brand awareness. And within books, they're okay with that. But now the Kleenex caused hives and warts and rabies, and all of a sudden it's like now you're painting the brand in a negative light, and there you could possibly open yourself up to some questions and cease and desist orders and those uncomfortable kinds of things. So do you have to use the brand? Sometimes, yes. We have one where there's a Coke Pepsi going on, and this is a very major franchise, and still they use Coke and Pepsi interchangeably. People like Coke, people like Pepsi. Okay, easy day. But do you really have to use the brand? Grabbed a Foofy designer coffee, local barista on the way out. Okay, everybody knows what you mean, but you haven't said it. This is the safe way, and this is the way I'm going with almost all of my stuff. If it's very clearly nothing negative can be attached, then fine, like grab a Coke. But generally, I avoid the brands just because of how it can be perceived, and especially if you're building a world, if you're building a franchise of your own with your series, then why not create some of your own stuff? And then that can be its own brand later if the series hits and all of a sudden it becomes a big hit. Then all of a sudden you have a restaurant called Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. There was no Bubba Gump until after the movie with Tom Hanks. So Bubba Gump, think about that. So if you've created a brand, you could also then create a commercial brand based on what you have. So don't miss that opportunity. Locations, geography exists. Chicago it's there. It's not a brand. But you take a place like Cabot Cove, the murder capital of the world. Well, it's a fake name. It's not. It's a small town. And it's a place where we put the setting, Midsummer Murders out of the UK. There is no Midsummer. Yes, you can kind of equate it to a section of England, but it's still fake. And that's safe way to go. If you look at NCIS, does a great job of let's say blanking out brand names in their products that you see on the screen. Another one is Big Bang Theory. Watch Big Bang Theory closely, especially when they're drinking a soda or something like that. It's not a brand. None of it will be a traditional brand. It'll be off like by one letter with a similar design, but they're not, because on TV, generally you have to pay somebody to use their stuff. When you see Apple products, Apple paid for that product placement. Something like Big Bang, if you see a real product, I bet you that product paid for that placement within the series. And when you get big enough, people will pay you to put stuff in there. Think about all the stuff in Harry Potter, all of those different things. None of it's a standard brand name. Why? Because it can all be commercialized later if need be, like butterbeer. Hey, go to Universal Studios and get yourself some butterbeer. Stores are brands, products are brands. Understand when you throw them in there, it may seem like it's everyday common language, but be aware. Don't take away some of your opportunity. Let me give you another example. Went to Cupertino to talk about bad computers. Perfectly fine. Went to Apple Campus to talk about bad computers. That could be defined in a bad light, and you might have to do the rug dance in front of somebody's desk to talk about that one and why you went that way. Then again, it's Apple, Microsoft. They're all used to getting bad press. I don't think they really press it, but it's easy enough to do. Think about it as you put it in there. Think about why, and think about future opportunities for brands that you create within your stories. And that's where I think you'll find the best traction and best reason on why to avoid brands, as opposed to helping Coke sell more Coke, helping Starbucks sell more Starbucks. Why? Help yourself sell your own brand of coffee as you expand into a greater commercial opportunity with your series and your books, should they ever really take off. And that's what we should all plan for, is a wider level of success. All right. Hopefully that helps. Start the camera. There we are. Peace, fellow humans.